What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Ageplay Confidential podcast, a show where I talk about anything and everything age play related. I am your host, Super B. So tonight on this show, I have a very special guest, Mommy Cat Marie. She is joining us for the second time, and I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. I'm doing fabulous.
Fabulous. Very good. Very good. Now, I have you on the show because um, I kind of wanted to kind of give you a voice here. I know recently there's been a lot of drama, some I feel some unnecessary drama that's been kind of going around, and I don't claim to know everything, but I have seen things posted online, and I've seen people, comment on make comments about you, um, and uh, what bothers me is that sometimes these comments are just hearsay, that they're just kind of regurgitating and kind of spreading out, and that kind of bothers me because there's no asking you, hey, what's your side of the story? Hey, why don't we give her side, let's give her a fair shake. And I don't think that's fair. And I've seen your name dragged through the mud, and I quite frankly I'm baffled because in knowing you and the time that I've known you, I've gotten nothing but the utmost respect from you, and I appreciate that. So some of these accusations are just kind of like out of left field, in my opinion, and I kind of wanted to give you a voice and kind of maybe get your side of the story so that people can make their own educated decisions and kind of let shit go away, because at the end of the day, like, it's really nobody's business. And you know
There's been a lot of things said, and you're absolutely right. A lot of it, most of it, has very little truth to it. It is all hearsay, and it is, most of all, extremely hurtful because it's always attack on my character or my standards, which have like no truth to it whatsoever. So I really appreciate this opportunity to get my side of things out there.
yeah. And it's not, you're not somebody that kind of shies away. You're out there, right? I mean, you're given weekly shows. There's nothing but positive energy and positive talking, and all this stuff is what I'm seeing. And so I'm curious as to what where people are getting this nasty side of Cat, you know. And again, there's a lot of there's been a lot of talk about how and these are the rumors that I've heard, right? And maybe if you want to address them, or if you want to kind of, you can let me know. But um, uh, I think that, and if you're uncomfortable with anything, please feel free to stop me. Or,
Of
um,
course.
but I think in one of the stories I've seen that you you recruited girls for a party, or something to that effect, where they felt like their consent was violated. Is that something that you've heard in the past, and is that something that you want to address?
The first time I heard that and what it has been spun into now is two very different things. But I would like to shed some light on all of that. Um, the truth is, I have had girls who have worked parties for me because my playhouse does a lot more than just fetish parties. We do bachelor parties and stripper nights and a lot of things within the sex worker world that is getting thrown into this ABDL conversation of me being Mommy Cat. And one of the things that crosses over is that apparently, allegedly, I went to a local munch to recruit girls for these parties. And that honestly isn't true. The only Littles event that I've been to, I went as my little side, not as goddess or mommy cat. I went looking for friends for kitten. And unfortunately for me, I met a couple of girls at that event. And a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight will stem from that pivotal moment in my business where I went to this TNG event and met a few individuals.
Mm-hmm. And have these individuals that you met, like did they approach you? Was or like were you recognized, or were you just making friends and you were being friendly, and this is how you met these girls, and then they did they take
Yeah,
advantage of that, or what?
100%. I was just there looking for friends for my little side and met two girls who I then found out later that one of them was a stripper at a local club and the other makes content. And actually, I was encouraged by both of them to put my mommy side out onto the internet and offer it for sessions, and was told you should do content. And this is kind of how all of that started for me in a weird way.
Sorry to steal your attention there.
It's okay. I just want to mention that Bear's here with me, so he'll chime in from time to time.
Bear. How you doing, Bear?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Good.
I felt a little weird because I didn't get introduced in the background. I was like, people are gonna wonder who's this person just sitting back here.
Well, this is audio, so
right.
What we see is just between us, but don't worry about it. I see you. His ripped jeans looking like Bon Jovi.
Okay. She's also in the little chair here, so there's not really a lot of room for me.
Little cat. That's right. She's got to sit in a little chair, right?
I know. He may chime in a little bit from time to time.
That's good.
But, yeah, I guess I should just start with one of the people I met at the party, and I will explain exactly how this all panned out. Sure. One of those people was Little Diapered Sunshine, and her and I hit it off very well, very quickly, and I never in a million years thought that meeting her that day would spawn into what we have today. And it is extremely hurtful to hear some of the things that that particular person claims, because I have done nothing but help and try and help this girl. Just a couple months after meeting her, my ex-partner and I were approached by her and told that she was in an abusive situation with her roommates, and she just had to get out right now. And she was so desperate for help of getting out of this situation that my partner and I actually went and rented a U-Haul, went to her house that she was renting with a couple other ABDL individuals, and helped move her out. And in that situation came a bit of drama because we were manipulated into thinking that she was in this toxic, abusive situation. And this isn't the only story like this about this girl. She has done this to several people in the community where she's in this situation that she either needs help or money or whatever, and people want to help her. And during that situation, we showed up, and her roommates were definitely caught off guard by this situation. And if anybody deserves an apology, it is those roommates, because my partner came in, quickly, to the point. There were heated words because these people didn't understand why we were there. And the police were called because they didn't want strange people in their house. And the police were there. They spoke to everybody. There was no police report, even though that is what they love to throw around, that there's this police report. There was no report. As a matter of fact, the roommates, by the end of the situation, ended up helping us move her things onto the U-Haul. And there, was no animosity by the time we left. Everybody was in a very good mood, and there was no report, there were no tickets, there were no arrests. This was not anything to be spoken about. But because we can use buzzwords like the police were called on Kat, they then use that to go to this TNG event and get, me supposedly banned. Now, I do want to touch on that a little bit too, because I have talked to the people who ran that event at the time and quite a long time since then, and I am friends with this person. They run AB Dealer. They've told me many times that they have never had me in a negative light. They do not believe this rumor of me lying about my age to go to this event, because that's not true either. I didn't know that there was an age cap on the event when I went. But this is the tactic of these people. They take things that really should have no relevance and they villainize it. And then they use it to paint you in this horrible light. And over the past 3 years, I have chosen mainly to not comment on any of this because it's not worth my energy. But by doing that, I made a huge mistake, because I let these people, these girls, take their story, which really is nothing like the truth, and it's been blown so far out of proportion. After moving her out of that house, she had nowhere to go, and she stayed in my house for a week before we were able to get her into actually the house right next door to mine. And I know there's a lot of moving parts to this, but it's all very relevant, so stay with me. Prior to moving Little Diapered Sunshine out of her living situation and into this house was vacant. And my partner and I were trying to track down the owner of this house so that we could rent it as a filming space. And AB Dreams was working with me on this idea of having a Denver baby house where we could film there and I could do sessions there. And when Little Diapered Sunshine came up needing a place to live, it seemed really innocent to put her in the house and let her live there for, a discounted rent. And as long as, I had access to the house for sessions and filming. And this is what I had worked out for her with AB Dreams. And just so everyone knows who's listening, they have given me complete permission to tell this story in its entirety, in its truth. And they are willing to respond and confirm that this is the truth. So Little Diapered Sunshine is now living in this home right next to me. And all of a sudden I'm getting messages from AB Dreams saying, hey, what's going on? We're not getting phone calls back. We can't get a hold of her. Is everything okay? Is everything moving along? And when I very gently confronted her on, do you need help organizing? What's going to help you hold up your end of the deal? She accused me of micromanaging her and then went behind my back to AB Dreams and told them that she's been in the community longer than I have, and that she should be the one that they're dealing with, not me, and tried to push me out of this deal. And AB Dreams was very much like, no, this is Kat and I's thing, and was not appreciating her behavior. So they backed out of the lease over there at this house. And so they were supposed to be paying half the rent over there, and she was going to pay the rest of it in this deal to have this baby house. And it was going to be a really great situation for her.
And if I could add a little context to that story, part of the way that this manifested is the next door neighbor, the house was vacant. They knew this person. So this person offered up the space. So they were able to get into there at a really good rate and not have to sign into a lease or anything, more of like a handshake deal. And so it was a really, really great opportunity for everyone that sort of unfortunately blew up.
There was an actual lease pulled up, and AB Dreams took the opportunity to back out of that because they had a month or 30 days or something like that, because they realized that she just wasn't going to let this be peaceful. And at that time, I really wasn't understanding why she was being difficult with returning messages and
ungrateful.
Honestly,
I mean, if you think about it,
right?
I look. You might not want to say it. I would, because the way it sounds is like the way it sounds. It just sounds like, wait, you're helping this person out, and this is the way she tries to repay you in response. That's just ungrateful, in my opinion. I know
So when
that's
you talk about kind of toxicity in the community and how that stuff can kind of permeate, I, it feels like almost cliche to say it, but there's a lot of immaturity in the
yeah.
ABDL community.
Oh
Who would
my,
have
for
thought
sure there is.
people who dress like babies are immature? But there's a lot of entitlement.
Yes.
A lot of people feel like something's owed to them.
Yeah.
And then if those things are taken away, that's when feelings get hurt, and when opportunities aren't available. Like I would say very much ungrateful for the
Yeah.
opportunity. They don't want to do the work for all the good things that come from
Exactly.
doing the work.
And this was almost 3 years ago. And this deal that I was working out with AB Dreams of them having a location in Denver to film and to do more and get growth and be bigger was completely ruined. And I did not give this girl attitude or anything. I just thought, maybe it wasn't supposed to happen right now. Maybe this wasn't supposed to be the way.
Yeah.
And I stopped talking to this girl. And then stuff got really crazy. I started hearing these rumors about things. She was anytime she would see us outside of our home, and all of this is relevant, I promise, because we have an RC track in our front yard. My ex-partner and I are big into off-road RCs. And so we would stand outside in front of our house all the time. And so she would leave the house and squeal her tires and zoom down the street. And it was very obvious that she was, passive aggressively having feelings about the situation. And, I'm accused of harassing her. And that is so ridiculous. It's not even funny. I am not the type of personality to harass someone. I am very anti-drama. That's why I haven't addressed this for the past 3 years. I want no part of this toxicity in my life. But I will say that after a few times of her zooming down the street right past us, and acting like a child, we started waving to her. Like, hey, neighbor, like, I see you. I see your behavior. I'm not going to just ignore this. And this is what has been spun into harassment. Now, I also want to go back to the fact that my partner and I knew the person who owned the house really, really well. And as a matter of fact, my ex-partner still talks to the owner of that house because they became friends. They had a lot in common. And so part of the harassment, heavy air quotes, is that anytime the owner of the house would come over there because they did repairs to the house the entire time she was living there, my ex-partner would stand outside and talk to this person. And he would conversate with him every time. And she spun this into, we were approaching people who were coming over to her house and harassing her. And she apparently is so affected by this and so emotionally affected by this situation that, she's got this horrible trauma, but this trauma does not prevent her from calling me names on the internet, approaching and messaging and reaching out to people who I work with and who I have business dealings with. That sounds a lot less like hurt and a lot more like a vendetta to me.
I just feel like that's kind of just going the extra mile to try to get at you somehow.
Yes, very much so. And they were very nice. The people who own the house let her finish out the lease. And when she left a month early without their knowings, and this is what they told us because we still talk to them, she had trashed the house. There were bags of dirty diapers in the garage, and the place was just an absolute disaster. So not only did this situation not pan out, but she embarrassed us on a huge level because we vouched for this girl and, pleaded with them to let us go into this really weird, living situation with her. And since then, it has been nothing but Kat did this, Kat did that, Kat tried to get me evicted, Kat harassed me while I lived there, Kat is this horrible person. And I'm sitting here like, wow, I bent over backwards for you. I rented a U-Haul. I gave you everything you needed. I bought this girl diapers. I fed her tons of times.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, one of the sweetest things that I remember about this girl is her coming into my house and being like, Kat, do you have any snacks? Because I had like a bonding experience with her, and it
Yeah.
was just like in a flip. I was an evil person. And this tends to happen when someone has realized that they aren't going to get more from me
Mm-hmm.
or what they want, or they can't manipulate me anymore. I'm turned into this horrible person.
Of course, because you're going against what they think, and you know how it is these days. It takes one little thing, and again, um, maybe blame it on the generational thing. I don't know, but it just seems like that. I just I just hope that that person gets the help they need, and pray for the next people that they encounter, because that's
Absolutely.
kind of annoying. Now, do you feel that it was this incident with this person where the rumor started, and is do you think that was a kickoff, or was there anything before that or anything like that?
No, honestly, I think that her not wanting to be micromanaged, and really wanting this deal all to herself is
Mm,
what spawned a lot of this. And for saying that this person is so affected by me that they have, because they've went on their social media many times and painted me into this horrible person. As a matter of fact, quite recently, I heard that they are blocking anybody who corresponds with me or is following me.
hmm.
And that doesn't seem like hurt to me. Again, it sounds like a vendetta. This person is still using pictures that were taken in my space. This person still has videos that they filmed here in my space for up for sale. But I'm accused of using girls for content and not paying people and having content up. And I challenge you to go try and find a piece of content anywhere on my social media with Little Diapered Sunshine in it.
Hmm.
Because that's not the type of person that I am. As soon as someone is a backstabber, and
Yeah,
that's how I felt,
yeah.
I removed her from all money making, all fan pages, all social media, because why do I want that reminder? Um
But here she is, using everything that was filmed in your location, all the camera work, everything that went into it. But she's
Absolutely.
freely
The purple
freely willing to take that money.
Absolutely. The I've had several people come to me and be like, "Isn't this your medical room?" Because the purple curtains in my medical room is very noticeable.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your parlor, taking pictures on that couch.
Yeah.
Like, it's your space. There's
And
no denying that it's your space.
right, exactly. But I have noticed that a lot of the things that they are actually doing are projected onto me in these claims.
Hmm.
So it's very hurtful.
Yeah, I would. I mean, obviously, it is, especially knowing the truth. And now here's the thing, right? It goes to the point now, like, what's people out there going to believe, right? You just told your side of the story. People have heard the other side of the story. Now it's like, okay, what's more believable? Facts, information that was given here, information that could be backed up by other people, and or ah, I heard someone else say that someone else said that she was an abusive person. That's kind of like, take it for
Yeah.
what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Use your own head. Come to
Yeah.
your own conclusion. Don't let your favorite content creator's opinion sway you from what's logical, I guess, is what I'm saying, because that's the whole
And you also
thing.
have to, you got to question the motive behind it. You know,
Yeah,
not engaging in this. You can't say that you're trying to police the community. You're being some sort of protector,
yeah,
and in the same breath, be calling somebody nasty names that have nothing to do with the accusations. It's just there's a lot of hurt that's being put out there that
yeah.
has
Like,
nothing to do with anything.
exactly. And one of the things that I do recall seeing about you was that you're a predator. A predator. You hear that word is so predator. They made a
Mm.
show about that called To Catch a Predator. Those people were the lowest of the low. So you're telling me that cat is a predator, the lowest of the low? You're an evil witch going out there lurking to get these people. Yeah, come on now. Come on, use your heads. Predator.
Hell, soundbite.
Trigger word is what you said before. Trigger word. What can predator occur? That's it. And then and don't no facts behind it. Just there it is. Correct. And now it's out there for everybody to run with.
There's a lot of buzzwords being used for sure. And the predator one is not new. They like to, as a matter of fact, they went to the Munch organizer and told them that I was there, looking for girls for my parties, and apparently I groom them and I don't pay them, and I threaten to send my followers after them, and all of this is so asinine. It's not even like, for me, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like the amount of blown out of proportion that this has gotten. And that, again, like I'll say, maybe that's my fault for not addressing it way back in the beginning and having, AV Dreams back me up on the truth to the Little Diapered Sunshine story. But I have not wanted to get caught up in there. They bait me online to like respond to this.
They want you to. They do.
And
it's a dual-edged sword. Yeah. You don't do it. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Exactly. You don't want to give legitimacy to these claims. You don't want to put any shine a light on anybody who's just out there running their mouth for no reason.
And then and I don't know if you noticed that, like, well, at least to me, it seems like it's a big thing, and then a week later, boom, on to the next issue, on to the next person to try to fuck with. And it's a cycle. Give it some time. It'll come back. After this is heard, people will say shit. Super Baby is this, or Mommy Cat's this. You believe that bullshit? Pfft. What else am I going to believe? I'm getting it from the quote unquote horse's mouth. Okay. Not hearsay. And what else am I going to do? Not believe what you say? Of course I'm going to believe. Now, if someone else wants to come and tell their side of the story, well, then there's a nice little debate. But we're talking to you. I'm talking to you. You're giving me your side of the story. And again, anybody can choose to believe what you say or not, or just say, fuck you. I don't give a shit. She said this and I'm going to believe her. Where are her facts? I don't know, but you gave me facts and I don't give a shit. That's what bothers me.
Well, I think after this podcast, you'll be able to see how a lot of these situations are, there's something to it, but everything's been spun in a very negative light. I mean, they take everything I say and turn it into something that it isn't. Like, for instance, one of the most stupid things I've heard so far is that I've lied about being on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, I've heard a little bit about this. Yeah, what's the deal with that? I guess
I have never mentioned the televised ABC Dancing with the Stars show, that I was a part of it or any of this crazy stuff. Yeah. What I have said is that the dance studio that I worked for my entire career hosts some of the dancers from Dancing with the Stars, and I have had coaching sessions from them. Many. I've spent many dollars on coaching sessions from high-level dancers. Now, what I have been on is a local Chicago Dancing with the Stars event that was televised locally, where I danced with the top brain surgeon in Chicago as my celebrity.
Yes.
No, we did not win. But you see how, and she lied about being on Dancing with the Stars. Anything I say is going to be turned into this ridiculous story to try and discredit me in some way or another.
Yeah.
And
it's like such a TMZ sort of way.
It is so stupid. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, you're really grasping at straws now, you guys. And
yeah.
I don't know. There's more silly things like that.
No, but they're not gonna. They just hear Dancing with the Stars, and that's all they hear. That's it. Just like those, like the clickbait things you see on Facebook and everything. This person died, and you see fucking Katy Perry on the cover. I'm like, she didn't fucking die. It's just clickbait. This is clickbait. Dancing with the Stars. She was on Dancing with the Stars tonight on Entertainment Tonight. Psych. Fraud. Mommy Cat Marie fraud. Oh. No, what you explained was totally. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There is a lot of locally hosted shows that may or may not take the name of something bigger, but again, it's all in the same. I don't know, and yeah,
Well, tons of shows host auditions, tons of the stuff that's never aired. There's all the stuff
of
that's
course,
built up into it.
Yeah.
But the
right,
fact of the matter is it's just you were a professional dancer.
yeah,
You participated in something that was loosely affiliated with the very popular TV show.
hmm.
But that's all people need to hear is, oh,
You know what
And
I
then it goes.
heard? I heard a rumor that you can't really dance for shit. That's what I heard. I heard that you're like Elaine Bennis. You know,
I will take you
that's
up on that and
that's
prove.
what I heard, and I don't believe a word you say. I just think you suck and whatever. Just so you know, let's get that
Okay.
clear out of there. But I'm telling you face to face. See, I got the
I
guts to
think
tell.
you're baiting me into making me prove it.
next on ABDO Live,
I know.
Super Baby says Mommy Cat's full of shit and her dancing sucks.
I'm just trying to get her out on the salsa dance floor. You know.
But I think some of that is because I've taught a dance class at a couple of conferences.
Okay.
And, any type of notoriety that I get has to be discredited in some way.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I've gotten very used to for the past couple of years. Is one of the things that sticks out to me is I took a picture one time with a diaper that was being held backwards. So if I were to put it down, it would be backwards.
Yeah.
But the story on that is the photographer asked me, "Oh no, pick that back up. The lighting is perfect on your face right now." And it was one last shot that the diaper was backwards, and now all of a sudden Mommy Cat Marie does not know how to put diapers on. And it was like,
I mean, I personally can vouch for otherwise, so
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're inexperienced. I forgot about that. Not only can you not dance, but you cannot put a diaper on for shit. So
yeah, all the content of her wearing a diaper, somebody's had to assist with.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the background, there's a whole team of people.
you have a hired diapered gimp hanging around there, and that's it. Yeah.
I'm not. Because didn't you know I only do this for money and I'm not an actual little? All the times I've ever put a diaper on, it has never, it's never occurred to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
it's for other people to be able to say what makes you a valid ABDL or not.
I know you're in it. Look, yeah, of course you're in it for the money. Where do I got to send this money to Cash App for this interview? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's not. I'm not paying. Gosh.
It's a juxtaposition between being a professional in the community, where this is still a business,
Yes.
but then also say that's the only thing that you're focused on.
Look,
and, at a certain point, money is involved in this, and there's money involved for the people who are saying that.
Exactly. Listen to me.
Problem
everybody knows that I love ABDL, right? Everybody knows me. Now, I want to make some money doing the things that I love. Is that such a fucking crime? Right? So, is that going to make me a fake ABDLer? Like, is it just he's just doing it for the hell no? How about the content that I put on YouTube for free? So, like, to say you're only in it for the money, well, you're in it because you love it, but hell's yeah, if you can make money and good money doing it, fucking yes. So what the hell's wrong with that? They're all doing it too. They're all doing it too. So, like, why you? Why is it you? Or some other big name?
Your weekly live shows. None of them are hosting littles events that are free that anyone in Denver can attend.
Yeah.
We don't charge people admission to that stuff. There's tons that you give to this community purely out of the goodness of your heart. Now, do you charge clients for sessions for mommy stuff? Absolutely.
You have to.
Yeah.
They're clients for a reason. You can't give out freebies. It's a business. It's your livelihood. And for somebody to come out here to try to spread some stuff to kind of try to hurt that livelihood. Now, come on. Now, what kind of positive energy are we trying to put out there, right? Everybody wants to do good or be the cheerleader of the community and investigate and see what's right and see what's wrong. Yet when doing all this and doing all this stuff, you're just hurting people. You're just not helping out. Instead of just, talking about it or not giving a fuck what other people's business is, this whole fucking place would be a lot better, I think. and not worrying about who's making money and who knows how to dance or whatnot. It's just totally ridiculous. It's frustrating. It gets to me too, and it's not and again, thankfully I hadn't had anything directed my way, but when I see other people going through shit, and I've seen how it affected you, it really is, it's kind of shitty. And yeah, oh, what about the people that she hurt? Well, you just explained the whole scenario and the situation of all this, so there's a lot of, in my opinion, based on what you tell me, a lot of negative energy your way for whatever reason. Jealousy. Maybe they feel your
Oh, don't use
competition.
that word.
Pardon?
Don't dare use that word. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
jealousy. Yeah, I know, right?
I react
And
very badly to anyone saying that it's out of jealousy. I don't know. They certainly attack like the parts that make me money, which is funny because it has the opposite effect. In the dull moments where nobody is going on this cancel cat campaign, I joke about someone stir the pot. My followers aren't coming in the droves right now. Every single time they are mentioning me on their stories, people can't help but come and check me out and then realize like this doesn't seem right.
yeah, she seems fine to me.
It's one of the most common things is consent violations at my parties. And the next big allegation that I want to address is one with Anastasia St. Clair. Okay. This is someone who I met strictly as a stripper, and then learned later that she was also an ABDL. And we did chatterbait shows together with another sex worker here in Denver, and they attended a couple of my parties for fun, but also to have someone to do like kinky shows with to entertain my guests. And these girls were so boastful about being spankos and how they can take such great spankings and that they just love to do this. And so it was like, okay, well, I'll pay you for a live show during a party. And it has been so far blown out of proportion from that. It's not even funny. They're now claiming that I didn't have her consent to spank her and that I went too far, even though at no point was I ever given an indication that they weren't anything but enjoying themselves, laughing, smiling, putting on a great show. And then the other part of it is even more heinous. It is that I allegedly took her by the arm and forced her into my glory hole and made her suck dick at my glory hole during one of my fetish parties. And dude, let me tell you what the truth on this one is. I am a very sexual person and I am a very playful person. And I went up to this individual and I was like, hey, friend, do you want to suck dick with me at the glory hole? And she was like, yeah. And we went back and both sucked dick at the glory hole and came out laughing, giggling, flirting with each other. Like, there was no problem with this when it happened. As a matter of fact, this individual went up to my ex-partner and I quote, said, I want to be you and Kat's little Polly play toy. And my partner had the smarts about him enough to be like, oh, you're going to have to talk to Kat about that. And this is the truth versus what is being said. Yeah. And there are several witnesses to her and I coming out of the glory hole with smiles on our faces and giggles and, you know, wiping cum from our fucking lip and making sure everyone saw it because we were putting on a show. Yes. And now the consent is being revoked and this person is trying to say that I forced her to do this. And the fact of the matter is I was doing it with her. Yeah. And there are witnesses to the conversations and the behavior afterwards and people who are 100% willing to go down and testify this for me because they're sick of these fucking lies. it's out of control. This individual that I'm talking about, Anastasia, actually went on after that party that supposedly her consent was violated.
Mm-hmm.
She went on a Chatterbait show with me afterwards, after that, weeks afterwards, and then attended another party on 420 with me where she was online having a great time. We were getting tips on Chatterbait, and she apparently was so traumatized by this incident at the Glory Hole party that she was okay with coming back and doing more things.
And
now,
okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This individual did not like a conversation that my ex-partner had in a group setting where he expressed the fact that he felt that I was not a sex worker because I do not have sex with my clients. He did not like that wordage, and they took huge offense to this. They have spread it around that Kat thinks she's better than us. She thinks that she's not a sex worker. I never said that. That was the opinion of my partner, and that is actually what caused her some animosity because my partner was very opinionated about this. And she messaged me and basically said that, you know, I don't want to be around your partner anymore. And the conversation was very cut and dry with me. I said, well, I wish you all the best in everything that you do. And I'm really sorry that you feel that way. And I am quoted as saying that because this person likes to send this to people in the community that support me or my business partners and tell them about this situation. And I understand that she's very upset that I just quote unquote wrote her off like she didn't even matter. Well, the fact of the matter is my loyalty is going to be with my partner. So if you don't like him, I wish you the best.
Exactly.
What am I supposed to do there?
Exactly.
And another important detail is at that party where this discussion about whether or not you're a sex worker and his opinions, it was actually recorded by this person without anyone else's consent. So they're talking about consent violation, and they actually had their cell phone recording.
And broke the law.
Yeah.
It is illegal in Colorado to record without everyone's consent who is in the room. And there were probably 8 people in the room when this recording happened. And she sends this recording to people in the community who support me to prove that I am this horrible person because my partner didn't think that sex worker was the right title for me. And to be honest, it's not, because that's not all I am.
Yeah.
And his opinion on that shouldn't really matter, to be honest.
His opinion is not necessarily a reflection of what you think and what you feel.
No.
He's an individual.
My ex is not a reflection of who I am or how I run my business or any of my opinions, but it certainly is spun that way a lot. As a matter of fact, there's allegations against him for assault, which is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The man, for, let's say, problems that he and I had and that we are not together anymore. Yeah. He has never touched another individual in an aggressive way or a sexual way. But this is, again, the buzzwords, the trigger words that people want to use to basically, make it such a big deal that nobody cares about the details.
Yeah.
It's just abuser, assault, predator, gaslighting. And it's
very frustrating if you can't tell through the tone of her voice.
I could tell. No, I can tell because I could see your face and everything, and I don't know if that translates to audio, but I could tell that you're flustered, you're upset, you're frustrated, and in some cases holding back tears, and this is the side that people don't see, how it affects you, how these allegations and lies and exaggerations affect you, and how people can just blindly take someone's hearsay word for it and kind of just run with it and just make it bad for you. And I'm glad you're taking this opportunity to tell your side.
And it's compounded with a lot of little things, but these little things, when all put together, paints me as this really awful person. Like I'm being accused of doxing people. I mean, people in this group of girls that is behind this Cancel Cat campaign
Mm-hmm.
are also accused of doxing and these things. And it's almost like everything that they're accused of, they're going to just turn around and use it, against other people.
Mm.
There was once a picture taken of me holding a champagne flute and a flogger at the same time. And then all of a sudden, my parties are just drunken, intoxicated, craziness.
Really?
I need to puke.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to fucking throw up.
Okay.
We could, let me mark this off here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pause that.
Yeah, let's just. This is the Super Baby here, and this is the Ageplay Confidential Halftime Report. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for making it this far. We are listening to Mommy Cat Marie spill her guts and answering the life. I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm just trying to poke a little fun here. This is a very serious topic. But I wanted to break in here because, as you can have just heard there, she wasn't feeling too good. She had to excuse herself. And so we took a break right there for a little bit, and then we returned. But keep in mind, this audio clip that you're going to hear now, the quality was a little off. For some reason, this second half didn't record as good. So you might hear a little bit of echo, a little reverb or whatever. So hopefully you can bear with. And that's the deal here. So sorry about that. And now we bring you back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, now it's recording, and yeah, the what were we talking about?
Expectations.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just going right into role play and not getting what they want. Basically, expectations really get a lot of people into trouble. Gets me into trouble, that's for sure. Other people's expectations.
Yeah, and you try to be nice. You don't want to be rude. Sometimes being nice is just not answering, right? And I'm sure you have a whole bunch of messages stacking up, and you're like, I'm never going to read these, because you can kind of see right off the bat what they're saying. Hi, hey there, hello, be my mommy. Now,
Yep.
if it's somebody you met and in a live setting, and now they're being creepy, that's another story. Now that's where we were talking about before. That's where the butthurtedness, the negativity comes from, and then like rumors start or whatever. Oh, she's just a bitch,
or I'm she's unapproachable, or I'm only doing this for money because I won't answer everybody's "will you diaper me" questions and their DMs. And yeah,
but at this point, it's been said so many times. That's like adult baby 101. You don't roll up on anybody's DMs unannounced and say, will you be my mommy? Will you be my baby? Will you take me to this? There is like a laundry list of that has been spewed by so many people. So for them to just say it, it's just an automatic. You're just, I'm not even going to waste my time with your just stupidness.
There needs to be some sort of a training for this, because I can't tell you how many times she gets me messages on her phone like, I'm not going to change.
I'm going to put a PowerPoint. I'll put a PowerPoint together and
yes,
just to show people. God forbid I do that. I'll be known as a Mr. Know-It-All or something or whatever. Who is this guy?
It's a real burden knowing everything, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. But I think after all these kind of like half-assed accusations, it's like if we hear anything else about it, it's just now made up, right? As we were saying before, it's like there's no it's like almost all eyes are on Kat, and it's like anything that she does is going to be kind of looked at with a freaking magnifying glass, and you hiccup one time and then it's going to be a big to-do.
Well, we talked about this a little bit, and it seems to be a lot of gatekeeping in this community, where people who are popular, or just maybe you're a newcomer. I mean, people are saying, oh, well, they've only been doing it for a certain amount of time. I've been in this community for 10 years. What difference does that make? That doesn't necessarily mean you're a more trustworthy person or a more reliable person or have a better brand or a better reputation. Yeah. It's hard to take people seriously when this community should be about welcoming people in and building each other up. And they spend so much of their time on this negativity aspect of trying to break people down because they just don't like them.
Yeah. There's no reason to, we're all trying to provide the community with something, whether it's a service, some content, whether it's free, whether it's paid,
Oh,
paid for.
speaking of
Pardon?
like offering the community a service, one of the people who have spoke out against me is someone on Twitter who goes by the name of Danny 4x4, maybe Danny 2x4, or something like that. But
Okay.
this person reached out to me with a video idea and wasn't going to pay for it. So I used to, but not no longer because of this situation. I had something on my website where you could submit your custom video ideas to my rainy day pile. And if I liked it, I might make it one day if I, had the time or whatever. And then you would get your video for free. And this person then went around telling people that I was scamming them because he wanted, or I'm not sure actually how they identify, so I shouldn't say that. They wanted me to pay them for these video ideas. And they even went to AB Dreams and tried to badmouth me to a company that I work for. And AB Dreams completely discredited this because he showed them screenshots where I clearly never stated that I would for sure make the video and that they were getting any kind of compensation for this video idea. And I can tell you the video's never been made. I don't want anything to do with it. It wasn't that good, which is exactly why I didn't put it in the rainy day pile. And then he started, where's my video? Where's my video? Where's my video? And I'm like, look, this was never a thing. Why are you in my inbox at this point? And it got negative really quickly.
Wasn't the story that this person's putting out there is that you hired them to do some writing for you?
Right, yes, writing. Even though I clearly stated, well, submit it to my rainy day pile, and if I like it, I might make it. And AB Dreams.
That's him submitting his work to you for compensation.
I'm really not sure on that, but yes, exactly. And
I mean, that's how he's taking it, right? I mean,
right, exactly. And this person was later found out to be autistic, which is also makes a lot of sense, but now has this story attached to me that I target people who are autistic and take advantage of them. And
wait a minute.
They were in the inbox demanding something that they had no right to demand.
Okay, we got predator. Got it.
Yeah.
We have hates autistic people. Got it. Mm-hmm. We have forcefully makes people suck dick. Got it.
This is how it gets spun. It was taking advantage of autistic people, not hates autistic people.
Yeah.
There you go. Taking advantage. There you go. Oopsies. Oopsie. There's another rumor I just started. Police called on. Check. Boy, I don't know. This is not adding up in your favor, I have to say. All of this stuff is so negative. I am to side with those people.
And really quickly, anytime I'm laughing about any of this stuff, I have nothing against autistic people or anything like that. And I think it would be an absolute crime if somebody were taking advantage of those folks. It's just the absurdity of the claims, the fact that there's no backup behind it. It's just, again, using those buzzwords and trying to vilify somebody. And it's so easy to do. All you got to do is post that word, and it's like, oh my God, did you hear
That's
this, that, and the other?
Right.
That's
and
all I see.
Another accusation is that I don't like trans people because I won't let them into my parties for free because I used to, I don't anymore because of this. I feel like I have to say that way too much, but I used to have all the time ladies got in free. And anybody identifying as a lady at the door got in free. There have been plenty of men cross-dressing who have got into my parties for free because that's the game we're playing tonight, and the rule is ladies get in. But one of the accusations is that I don't let trans people into my parties for free. And it's like, that has never happened. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. But there's a lot of accusations around my parties, like the fact that I allow intoxication Not true. I allow consenting, mature adults to have a drink at my bar in my playhouse after they engage in any play. And
Well, we also have people who don't engage in play, and
Right.
they are more than welcome to drink if they want to have a drink.
And it's just
Yeah.
a social event. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong
Party.
with that. There's plenty of parties that allow alcohol and marijuana and the things that I'm being villainized for. There's drug accusations at my parties, I mean, are you considering marijuana a drug? Because that's the only thing that I allow, and have kicked several people out just under the suspicion that they might be doing something more than that.
So parties take place here in the beautiful state of Colorado. Marijuana is not illegal here. So if you want to smoke a joint and that's your prerogative, go on outside and smoke a joint. But
Exactly.
we do not condone illicit drug use at any of the parties. In fact, anytime there's ever been suspicion, as she just said, we just ask you to leave. We're not gonna do a search. We're not gonna call anybody. We're just gonna, you gotta go.
Leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's another accusation that my ex-partner has, given someone drugs. Not true. If anybody has ever received anything from us, it has been completely legal and knew exactly what it was. But then this all ties back to one of the biggest problems about my party, which is this accusation that a knife was pulled on someone at one of my events and there was an assault. And I would love to share with you the truth on this so that you can laugh about it as well. Because
it's very serious accusation right there, a knife.
Certainly is. And it goes back to drugs. There was a rigger here with a rope bunny, and he was acting erratically. He had this rope bunny tied to a chair. She was just sitting in a chair with her hands tied behind her back, no more than that, in the corner. But he kept walking away from her and going into the other rooms. He was not paying attention to her. And I did notice this and was keeping an eye on her myself. And then other party guests came up to me asking if he was okay. They suspected that he might be on something. So I made the decision to evict them from my party, which is where the drama ensues. He refused. And so he was told, please untie your rope bunny. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And he said no, he wasn't going to do that. And he continued to mingle and do whatever he wanted to. So I talked to my ex-partner. I made the decision to evict them from the party. He walked over, cut her free from her bondage, and said, I'm sorry, but your partner and you are going to have to leave. Which is then where my ex-partner was accused of pulling a knife on someone and assaulting them, and that her consent was violated because the ropes were cut. And it's like, no, people thought that you were on fucking drugs. I don't want you in my home anymore. This is what I'm doing to remove you. I'm sorry that you got embarrassed because of your behavior, but going on FetLife and writing a 13-minute narrative about how your rope bunny's consent was violated and you were assaulted with a knife is like way out of control. It is completely out of control to spin that in such a way. And then this is also painted because this Cancel Cat campaign loves to go back to that particular incident and say that my parties are unsafe and that there's alcohol and there's drugs. If anything, that person was being asked to leave because they were on drugs. And let me just add to this conversation that after the 13-minute narrative where he accused us of assaulting him with a knife, another rope bunny came forward and said that during play that they had in private, he tied her up, left her on the floor, popped a couple Adderall, and started acting erratically, which is exactly why he was evicted from my party. So how dare anyone question my decision making in that situation? The way that the rope bunny was removed from her bondage was in no way, shape, or form aggressive. It was one cut of one rope with her two hands together, and she was standing. But this is exactly what these people do. They take something that should be respected because I found out something was going on that shouldn't have been and removed it from the situation. But my parties are now unsafe because of this.
Yeah, it's like, what are you supposed to be doing? Wearing a body cam to prove
Yeah.
that, like,
Yeah.
it was a bad situation. This person was asked to leave,
Yep.
and it had to be done as quickly as possible. And that's just the way it went down. Could it have gone down better? Probably, but everything 2020 hindsight, of course.
Of
But
course.
it
Of
gets
course.
blown
It's
out
like
of proportion into this thing that it's not.
Very much
it's like
so. And
it's like it's like you have to have a body cam these days. Like
right.
just to prove your point.
And that particular incident happened about 3 years ago, which would have been, when all the stuff with Little Diaper Sunshine was going on and like some of this other stuff. And there was a lot of talk on the internet about my space and who I was as a person and all this. And during that time, it was very emotionally taxing on me because I felt I had made the best decision I could for my home and my business. And it was being spun into this horrible villain story. And so I turned my social media over to one of my pets who serves as a butler for me. And he honestly filters my social media of all negativity so that I don't have to see it and that I can go about my day in the happy go lucky way that I normally am. And out of that, I have been accused of blocking every face of the AVDL community. And that is perfectly and honestly because they were engaging in shit talking about me when this happened. So they were then blocked. But, am I just supposed to continue to see this negativity and just let it be on my social media and look at it every day and see these opinions that people have when it's all hearsay to begin with? No, I blocked these people, or Bunny blocked these people, to be honest. And I don't even see the blocked list. I don't know who's on the blocked list.
Who cares?
He does. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
If someone bad mouthing me on the internet, he blocks them, and it's purely to protect my tender fucking heart.
And the accusation of it's like, well, blocking all of these people, all the faces of the community is predator behavior, or that doesn't make any sense. How's that behavior?
I don't understand how that
abuse at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that because that's the total opposite of, don't you want your abuser to go away? Whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
for whatever reason, the accusation says something about it's abuser behavior to block out people who are talking about you, but
how? Explain the logic to me.
Sense about it is when people tend to make comments and do posts about all this negativity. It's very, very often including hateful words, nastiness, just
name calling,
just
name calling.
Stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you want to see that? I would block it too. In fact, I don't know. I've never interacted with half of these people. They're blocked because I just want to be around them.
I don't like I said before. If I see people that are just negative, I just unblock. I just unfollow. I don't even block. I just unfollow. It's like, listen, not even worth. I'm not gonna get into it, and I do it all the time. And what's the problem with that? Am I hiding from people? No.
Well, apparently it's abuser behavior because I maintain an echo chamber of people who are positive, and I block all the people who might say something negative. The only people who have been blocked on my social media are people who have been known to shit talk. And it's just because nobody wants that shit. And honestly, I feel better after being able to say all of this stuff because it has been 3 years of hell. There's been a lot of very emotionally taxing moments in my life because of being bullied online over things like this. And there's just one more thing that I want to address, and that was an incident that happened on last Halloween, so almost a full year ago. I had a Little's trick-or-treating event. We were out in the neighborhood trick-or-treating, and my partner came home visibly upset and needing my support. So I cut the trick-or-treating event short. I sent everyone home so that I could deal with the situation in my inner circle. And out of this, I've got someone saying that I traumatized and disrespected their little space because while they were in little space, I don't know if it was just because I chose to support my partner in his time of need and sent them home, or because they didn't want to stop trick or treat. I'm very confused on this situation with Panda's Crafts. It's another person who regularly shares how traumatizing this situation was. And it was as simple as, okay, guys, we're gonna have to cut this short. I'm really sorry. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. And they went to go do other activities. But
Yeah.
a week later, all of a sudden, her little space was just traumatized because of the situation.
I think part of that might be just again, kind of that immaturity.
Yeah.
And it's the simple fact that, like, you have to remember we're adults. So if something changes, circumstances can change.
Yeah.
And you drop very quickly out of mommy mode, and you had to put on a different hat, and that was
Yeah.
probably very abrupt for this person. But this person needs to be understanding of the fact that, like, there are circumstances in life that are very important.
Yeah.
And if somebody that is very, very important in your life needs your support, you are fully entitled to drop
Of
everything that you're
course.
doing and support that person.
And the thing is, this person wasn't even exposed to the conversation, any of it. They were a block away. I caught up with them during the trick or treating and told them that we were cutting it short. Everybody came back. They were really supportive. Nobody seemed to have any problem with it until a couple days later. And I think what happens is people share with other people what happened, and then they're like, "Oh my god, they cut your little space short just with no explanation. That's abuse." And then they're like, "Yeah, that is abuse.
Not
You're
abuse.
right." And like, oh my god.
And honestly, it is really as stupid as that, and as simple as that. Did
It
he feel
is.
upset when he was upset? Yeah, I'm sure he had an elevated voice. He had he had some energy about him, and you realized that he needed you. And then you just, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. I have to cut this event off. My partner needs me.
But
And
he's also, how old is this person? Was he an adult? I would assume,
The pandas
right?
person that was so triggered, they are an adult, yes, definitely. And
And
there's two people that were at this situation that then, got together and decided that they didn't like how it panned out, and now I'm a
okay,
horrible person because of it. And I,
sucks to be you. I'm sorry, but here's the thing: like we're it, like like, again, like you were owed something or they were owed something. Like life happens, and there are more people in this life that are important than those people. I'm sorry. You're I know you're being nice and then trying to help them out and do this thing for free, right? I mean, like,
for free.
why? Yeah, exactly, for free. Oh,
Not that I care or want any credibility for it, but I spend a lot of money to throw free events, to
yeah.
then be told that I'm, these horrible things and an abuser. And as far as Panda and Pavlov go, like, I am very sorry that their situation didn't go exactly the way that they wanted it to, but in no way does that make me a bad person, or
Of course
that
not.
I abused them in any way because I sent them home early. I have that right if something
Yeah.
in my life comes up. And I just want, like, to cap all of this stuff off with, the biggest things are, like, I don't pay people for doing content with me. That's never been the case. If anybody
Mhm.
has not been paid, come to me and talk to me about it, and we will make it right.
Yeah.
That I treat people poorly and, feed girls to my male guests at my parties. And
since when?
yeah,
I've been left off that buffet.
I know. Dozens upon dozens of party goers that would never agree to any of these things that are being said, but I'm also not going to drag them into this shit show,
Yeah.
and into the sewer, so to speak, that these people love to wallow in. I'm
Yeah.
not going to keep addressing this like bull.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that we don't respect anybody's traumas. Or I
Mhm.
realize for a lot of people, little space is rooted in a trauma.
Yeah.
That's we feel a lot of us feel comfort in that. But at the end of the day, you are an adult, and you have
Yes.
to be respectful of the adult circumstances that can occur at any time when you're in little space. And you really just have to kind of get over that hurdle in your own mind.
Yeah.
Nobody's out to
Yeah.
hurt anybody. Nobody's out to disrespect anybody's little space. And, we're really sorry if that's how you
Yeah.
feel and that's how it came across. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm belittling that. Everyone's
Oh.
feelings, to a certain extent, are very valid and justified. But
Yeah.
turning things into something they're not and trying to like exploit some sort of a situation just because your feelings are hurt, that's not okay.
Or just
It's not.
wanting, validation from other people online, because it's very easy to go on your Instagram story and be like, Kat did this, and then have, a slew of messages that
Yeah.
validate your feelings. But the thing
Yeah.
is, none of these people who have these accusations against me, not one has ever came to me and talked to me about these things. And had
Yeah.
they done that, I would have been like, I'm really sorry that, you interpreted it that way. And I have
Yeah.
every ability to apologize where it's needed, but I will not apologize to people who are lying and dragging my name through the mud with
Yeah.
complete hearsay and just
No,
like
you shouldn't. You
rhetoric.
shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, because if it's not true, you try to defend yourself the best you can, and I just hope that this kind of helps. Well, I don't know. At the end of the day, this podcast should never have happened, because it is the dumbest thing to be sitting here and having to kind of defend yourself against some of these ridiculous accusations and some of the nasty stuff that has been called to you.
Yes, and I have never once called any of these people outside their name. I've never insulted them. I don't creep around their live shows like they do to me and make nasty comments. I don't create sleeper accounts to watch them like they do me. It's like, I'm being accused of a whole lot of stuff, but I could turn around and say I have been bullied online for the last 3 years over this because I wanted to be the bigger person and not address it. And it's out of control now.
It is. I really do hope it dies down. I'm not gonna hold my breath. No, but for real, like I think at some point it's gonna get to the point where it's like, okay, if another accusation comes out and another one comes out, it's like, all right, like enough already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a person cannot be this habitually cruel or mean or predatory or whatever. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's starting to look silly, and people who are spreading these rumors are just looking bad themselves.
And if I can, I've known Kat for what, just over a year now. We met August of 21. I have been to countless events and parties.
I would say almost all of them.
Almost all of them. And never once, in a single instance, ever witnessed anything remotely related to anybody's consent being violated, illicit drug use, any of this bullshit, abuse, whatever the hell you want to say. None of it. I've never witnessed it. I'm the type of person, especially, I'm very protective of my little space. Very protective. I would never put that in danger of being hurt, exposed, anything. And if I were to witness it, I'd be gone. I'd walk away. I'd just be done. I just no, I wouldn't support it. I wouldn't be a part of any of it because that's deplorable behavior.
Yeah.
And if I were to have witnessed a single event of that, I wouldn't be friends. We wouldn't be together.
And it's not like there isn't other people besides Bear in that same situation. I mean, I have an entire staff of people that are at my events. I have a dungeon monitor. I have my butler. I have Ty, who is, the guy who sometimes is at the door, sometimes behind the bar. Like, these people have witnessed each and every one of these situations that these allegations have come from. And like,
we've got a guy who's a rigger. He's regularly, almost at every single party. He would vouch for all of this stuff too.
Of course.
It's a shame that we have to even, kind of come out and be like, oh God, do we have to like get affidavits and subpoena people? And like, it's just, it's silliness.
And all the time, rather than actually like, hitting someone with a cease and desist for defamation or even slander, I have not done that because I don't want to bring my friends into the shit show that which has been created, and I don't want to have to ask them to do it, even though each and every one of them has said, Kat, like, we'll vouch for you if this ever gets, you know, big, because this is ridiculous. I don't want them to have to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, and you're doing the best you can to try to keep others out of it. But look, I think there's a good, strong group of people that support you. And that's good to have. And at the end of the day, start not paying attention to these people, not just us three here, but everybody else that sees just negative drama. Just roll your eyes and unfollow, and don't just add to it. Don't give fuel to these people, because they thrive on this negative. Like, I'm so happy I got to her. They're probably fucking patting themselves on the back or something, you know? And that's just ridiculous. It's just a negative. It's toxic. It's something that shouldn't be in a community. Just enjoy the content. Just enjoy that there are people out there like you that like this thing, whether it's, for fame or money or whatever. We're in it because we love it, you know? And I think we should just try to support each other and not be negative. And there's room for everybody to make money. There's room for everybody to do this and that. Let's just come on, you know.
That's very
I'm just
well said. We couldn't agree with you more, man. It's one of the reasons why we've been avoiding this. You know, we've had a lot of discussions over the last year. Is it time to say something? Should I start posting about this, that, and the other? Should I address these stories? And it's nice to, honestly, we really appreciate the forum to be able to maturely discuss these situations and talk about what they really mean and what the harm that really causes when people just start talking and they may not have even been there. 90% of the time, that's the case. That's hearsay. They've heard it from somebody else, and they're just going to start spewing it out there because, for whatever reason, they just don't like someone.
They even said it themselves. Hey, look, every interaction I had with this person has been wonderful, but here's what this person says, and I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. You met the person. You interacted with them. You thought they were fine and nice, but here you are saying, but let me just drag her through the mud because I have nothing better to do. That does not logically make sense how a person can be that way. And
I mean, there's somebody out there who is actively seeking dirt on Kat.
Yeah.
You know, and has literally said, I only want stories from people who have had bad interactions.
Yeah.
And turned away people who've had positive interactions.
What about those people? Right. And that's the thing. When you're looking into something, you're not just going to ask for the negative. Of course, I can ask negative shit about anybody. And oh boy, there's going to be people that come out of the woodwork, you know, but don't turn down the positive. And I bet you there's a whole bunch of positive that outweigh the negative. Look, I'm not a saint either. I'm sure I rub people the wrong way. I don't sit there and just negatively say something about somebody because I got butthurt. I get butthurt all the time. I don't fucking sit there and be like, this person said this and I'm just going to fucking... No, that's immature. That's stupid. I deal with it myself here internally, and then I just let it go. I might rant to some close friends, Kat. But anyway.
Sometimes rant to close friends. Sometimes the cat and the dog hear about it. Like, can you believe this? This is what's going on? They don't care.
And then, I rant to the close friends that I can trust, and that's it. And then it's done. And onward. Get rid of the negative. Bye-bye. And then just stick with the positive and move forward. So, and I hope...
My hope is that people just act with a little bit less bias.
Yeah.
If you want to be involved in this stuff, which I don't understand why you would ever want to, unless you're just curious, be curious to both sides of the story. If that's really your prerogative, or just close the window and move on. Because none of this is important. None of this is important. It doesn't do anything for anybody in a positive way.
Exactly. You know what I want to see? People wearing diapers and looking cute. That's what I want to see. Let's just have more of that. Let's just have more of that and enjoy other people's content. You know?
Exactly.
Well, let's all change each other's diapers and be happy at the end of the day, right? Big diaper changing orgy.
Got someone you can message if you just want to drop in her DMs.
I'm just going to say, hey, can you be my mommy? Will that get me in? You owe me. You owe me a diaper change now. You know, that's what I'm saying. All this stuff.
Dang it.
Well,
fantasy.
yeah. Well, listen, guys. I appreciate you coming on the show. And Bear, nice to actually get to know you now.
Yeah, pleasure
And
meeting
you
you.
you guys are a couple of good people, right? And based on how you interact with the communities, your weekly shows, I think that's good because not a lot of people, not a lot of content creators go the extra mile and provide that for free. Some of them are like, hey, look, check my live show on this or do this. And again, you're making money. No one's saying nothing, but here you are giving something free on a weekly basis. That's not a lot of people can say that. And that's just something that kind of shows you that you want to give to the community and whatnot. And
I
I just
appreciate
hope
that.
it.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I hope this is behind you guys. And you know, who knows if this shit stirs any more shit, but whatever. Like I think it's done. And you know, I'm
Honestly,
sure we'll hear.
talking through it with you and realizing that people out there do think for themselves.
Yeah,
It's remembering that's helpful. Of course, this is always going to pop up again at some
of
point,
course
where
it
some
is.
new
It
drama,
is.
some new target,
Yeah.
some other person in this community is going to be the focus of the negativity, and it's
Hey,
just
because
going to
I'm
be.
friends with you now. There's gonna be some sort of negative. Well, I'm just waiting for it. But I'm like, bring it on, bitches. Bring it on. Fuck you. You ain't gonna
Well, we
get me.
don't really want you to be a lightning rod for anything, but
No.
we will say thank you.
Okay. Well, it's been my pleasure, guys, and I hope you get through this, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.